The Sciforror Film Podcast. Right, day three. My films I didn't watch on day three. Rabid from 1977 from David Cronenberg, again, from Canada. I've seen that before. I saw it again many years ago.
Yeah, well, I watched it last night.
All right, okay. What did you think?
Yeah. It's one of these things where I watched it years ago through, David Cronenberg, body horror, things like that, and watching that whole sort of thing of, and it's really quite gory in its own way.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of these things where you really feel sorry for her, but then at the same time, she's becoming this vicious, horrendous serial killer, who sort of vampirically sucks blood from everyone around her, And it's one of these ones where I really enjoy it because it does make you think. It's this double-edged thing of feeling sorry for her at the same time, but then also she's going around killing people and turning people into zombies everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
The effects were quite interesting. I think it's about 20, 30 minutes in, you see the barb that comes out, and the effect of that's quite good, it's, like you were saying, it's a strange one because almost the character is, you can tell that she's nice from the start and all that sort of stuff, and then she almost becomes this evil seductress to get the blood when she wants it. So
yeah.
You're very torn on how you feel about the killer and the main characters around you.
I must admit, I went through a thing for a while of loving David Cronenberg films, and I watched loads of them, and then I kind of stopped watching them for a while, and it's been a while since I've seen them that much.
Yeah, I'm very much the same. It's like I'm sort of not really into that sort of thing anymore. But when watching it again, I did enjoy it, and I did say to my stepson that they should watch it. Apparently, there was a remake.
Right.
2 years ago, but I haven't, that I sort of saw while I was looking it up, and I haven't seen that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, apparently the remake goes a bit further into the story, so that's going to be interesting. That might be one to watch if you prefer it a bit more fast-paced.
Maybe, yeah.
But I did like the whole grimy feel of the film was great. And it feels like he did that on purpose. Everything's very grimy or clinical. And the music is very old school, 70s,
Yeah.
But that adds to it, So.
Absolutely. Okay. I didn't watch Hellraiser because I've seen that a number of times.
Yes.
The 1986 film of Hellraiser. And I also had on there...
With Hellraiser, though, it's a bit of Hellraiser's going to come back in fashion now because there's a new game coming out and it does have the original Pinhead's voiceover in it. So that's an interesting one.
There's supposed to be new versions of Hellraiser being done anyway with different people in it and things. I don't know exactly what's going on with that. But I've seen Hellraiser loads of times. Hellraiser 2 was also on at the festival, and I've never never seen that. I will say I've never seen it. I've watched, I think, the first 20 minutes of it about 3 times.
Oh, right.
Every time I've had it put it on, it's been sort of like ridiculously o'clock in the morning, and I've fallen asleep on watching it. So I think I've watched about the first 20 minutes of it. That's about it.
Yeah. Another weird note on Hellraiser, and I don't know if it's still there, but there's this weird meme where someone's put the star in the circle, right. and it's on top of a bus stop somewhere in London, and there's all the different VHSs of Hellraiser, and they're all on the different points of the star.
How bizarre!
is bizarre. Someone just thought it'd be a humorous idea, and it's still there now, apparently.
No idea. Yeah, the next one I didn't see was The Watch Killer, which is a new indie film from the UK. Then Chingaya, I think that, don't know how you pronounce it, which means belt. Apparently, it's an Italian film, new indie film which I didn't see. Another new indie film called She's a Bitch, which apparently is the fifth entry in the I See the Dead series. Don't know anything about the first four entries, so I wasn't overly bothered about not seeing that.
Oh, no.
Then there was a film called Cannibal Man, which is part Spanish, part Italian film from 1972.
Okay.
Yeah, don't know. A new indie film called Hang, which I didn't see. Retro feature film from 1987, The Monster Squad.
Ah, yes, that old chestnut.
Yes, a group of kids who help try to save their hometown from Count Dracula and other collected monsters. Then a new indie film called I Know Exactly How You Die, which is it's about a guy who's a slasher novel writer, and his book starts coming to life. Don't know.
No, it sounds like it's a cup of my tea, though, so I'll have a look
Yeah,
at.
yeah. Then the retro feature, another one that I saw years ago, and I've never watched since, and I'm not sure I'll be that bothered about watching it again. 1989 film Society.
Ah, see, I did watch this because the missus went to me, "What? You gonna watch that?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah," because it was like on the list of films, and I was like, "Well, we could watch it. I'll see what it's like." And by her reaction, I had to watch it. Yeah, so I've seen this in preparation for tonight, and my general explanation is what the cluck and what the hell and all the whatlers, and I'm like,
The thing that gets me is
it will make me, I will never see Vaseline in the same light ever again.
it kind of starts off as a fairly normal film.
It does, it does. It really feels like it's going to be a generic 80s horror film. And then it turns into high society orgy alien horror. Is probably the best way of putting it.
Well, I mean, the description they've got of it in the booklet, it says an ordinary teenage boy discovers his family is part of a gruesome orgy cult for the social elite. And I don't think
Yeah,
that covers it enough.
I don't think it covers it enough at all because that doesn't explain any of it.
It doesn't explain the heads coming out of the wrong parts of bodies and
Yeah,
things.
they're not really sure if it was like aliens or if it's to do with weird inbreeding or if it's to do with a cult. There's lots of different very open ending things of it, and I find it very bizarre. I probably would watch it again just to try and understand the plot a bit more.
I mean, I might watch it again one day, but it was a while ago since I've seen it. But at the time, I finished watching it and thought, "What?"
Yeah, yeah.
I think I think when I saw that,
Fantastic. I mean, I'm a big fan of practical effects, so I absolutely adored that. And it did make me really squeamish in certain bits.
I mean, I think I must have seen that in about 19. It can't have been much like it must have been about 1990 when it was probably put out on VHS or something.
Okay. See,
So
it does feel like it does belong on VHS. That's definitely a VHS film.
yeah, it was a bizarre film.
Yeah, very bizarre. And the way it ends as well. And I'm like, did you think this was going to have a sequel, or did you end it like that on purpose? Because
I do
that's the
want, yeah,
most annoying thing. It's such an anticlimactic ending.
I do think that maybe they thought that they'd get a sequel to it, but nobody wanted to.
They must have, because the way they ended it leads into a sequel, definitely. And if they didn't think they were going to make a sequel, the ending is so nonchalant. Oh,
Yeah,
well, let's just go. That literally is what happens. they kill one of the aliens or one of the occultists, and then none of them try to kill him, and then they all just go. And it's like, see you later.
It's like it starts off very ordinary, ends very ordinary, and in the
Yeah.
middle it's just batshit.
They literally at the end they go, right everyone, see you later. You
Yeah,
can't stop us going, as they walk out the door. There's no chase scene. They just don't go after them. And it's like, right,
yeah,
that's a nice end to that then, isn't it? No one, a few people died, but no one really cares. Let's just go, trundle, trundle off.
very strange film.
Yes.
Very strange film. The other feature film I didn't see is a new indie film called Roadkill from the UK,
Right.
which looks like it's probably some kind of slashery type thing. I don't know. The short films I didn't see, there was one called Go Down Dilla,
Okay.
one called Go to Hell, film called The Nature of Death, and the last one, which I would love to have seen just from the title, is called Zombies Assemble. So I don't know if it's I don't know what that was, to be honest with you. Be interesting to see what it was.
Mm.
Now, the films I did see, where are we? I watched a film called ES, which is a kind of seance type thing, nightmares and hypnosis and therapy thrown into it. It's very odd. There are some interesting effects in it, but again, I was very aware of the fact that I was sitting there thinking, is that AI?
Mm.
Because they looked very smooth effects, and I couldn't make my mind up whether they were just really well done effects or if it was AI. And
Mm.
I really hate feeling that way.
Yeah, like I said before, I'm sure they have to put it in there now if it is,
Yeah.
you know.
Next film was called God Squad, which was quite funny. It's the idea you got a young vicar and an old drunk vicar who are basically going to places to do things like exorcisms and things like that. It is quite funny.
Oh,
It's a bit long, but it is quite funny,
uh,
especially when they haven't got their cross with any crosses or anything with them. So they go to borrow one from one of the neighbours who is a complete pervert and
yeah.
gives them this cross that every time they held it forward starts making these kind of lewd comments. It's things like, oh, you want to see a second coming? I'll show you a second coming.
Oh no.
Things like that. It is quite funny. I did like that one. Uh,
Yeah.
and we've got
I'm getting lesbian vampire killer brighter
yeah,
as vibes on
yeah.
that one. Oh,
There's
dear.
a film called Tragedium,
Right.
which was uh, mm, it was odd and made even more odd by the fact that again there were no subtitles and it wasn't in English. It was starts off with a news report about an alien abduction and an investigation being done into it. It looked quite funny from the things that people were doing, but I had no idea what they were talking about. So I can't say whether or not it was funny or not.
Okay.
Uh, there was a film called Quarantine, which there was the guy who made this, the guy called Russ Emanuel, and I've interviewed him on the show, and we reviewed the full film that was done from this, which was called Staycation.
Okay.
Um, very very good. It's kind of like you get a news report about and an interview about the kind of COVID type thing, and then there's like this boyfriend and girlfriend talking over Zoom. Uh, that was quite good and it's quite interesting. I did like that. Um, the next one was called Don't Watch This. Uh, it was interesting because it's a woman. She's on a car in the phone. She's on her phone in the car. She's being watched, and she starts seeing things. She's going to the camera, and then it's like we're watching her, and she knows she's being watched by
Okay.
us.
Mm.
Very interesting. It was very. Mm.
Mm.
Uh, then there was a film called Mr. Vertigo, which was quite good. It's about this guy who's losing senses. He starts having no feeling of hot and cold and things like this. Turns out he's got a brain tumor. Um, but all the way through it, he's being supported by this girlfriend who doesn't actually exist,
Oh, okay.
which is quite interesting. Then there was a short film called The Body Is Watching Me. Really did like it.
Yeah.
It was there's some great visuals. It's kind of like it was in black and white, but there were bits of it where she was kind of like having these images in their head which were in bright red.
Oh,
Really, they really work well.
mm.
And it's basically about her. The elderly father has died, and she keeps seeing his body on the floor, watching her
Mm.
wherever she goes.
Yeah, pretty spooky then.
Yeah, it was really good. Then there was another film I really liked called Dana,
Mm.
Darner. I will be interviewing the two people who were involved in this film uh, at some point. It's about it's this woman's sort of like her husband. The man's in bed, obviously not well.
Mm.
Woman is sitting by the side of the bed darning socks, and then he wakes up and she goes over to him. She pulls the covers back and she's been patching him up, darning his wounds to
Mm.
keep him going because she doesn't want to let him go.
No, no. Interesting. Okay. Mm.
It's very good. I really
Yeah.
did like it.
Mm.
The next film is a feature film called Borley Rectory: The Awakening.
Right.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Borley Rectory is supposedly one of the most haunted places in the UK,
Mm.
and this is supposedly about the origins of all that. The cast of this was interesting. There were a lot. This is an new independent film. Um, there were a lot of new, young, independent actors and actresses in it, but it also had Julian Glover, Patsy Kensit, Helen Lederer, Vicky Michelle, and Mark Wingett in it.
Oh, okay. That's an odd mix, isn't
It
it?
is an odd mix, and the thing about it is there's some really good acting in it, which you would expect from people who are seasoned, well honed actors.
Hmm.
But the problem with that is it shows up some of the less accomplished acting of the
Hmm.
people who are not
See,
well
it's
honed,
a real
seasoned.
shame, isn't it? But hopefully that will elevate, the seasoned actors will elevate the film in order to help the young ones.
I mean, it's got some good, decent jump scares and some good makeup effects. It's an okay ghost story, but it's nothing special.
Mm.
It's not really got anything that lifts it above being a decent ghost story,
Mm.
you know. Um,
Which
there
is
were
a shame because obviously we want British horror to, elevate up, don't we?
absolutely. The one thing I had a problem with in this, and I'm trying not to, I try not to be sexist with things, but this was set the late 1800s, early 1900s. The lady of the house, played by Patsy Kensit, is taken ill.
Right.
She's taken to her bed. The family doctor is not available because they've been out doing house calls or something somewhere else. So they have another doctor looking after her. And then the family doctor turns up
Mm.
and says, I'm here now, I'll take over. The thing that gets me is the fact that both of them were female. Now, I'm not sure that in the late 1800s, early 1900s, you would have two female doctors do it as kind of GPs.
Mm.
It just didn't quite. I wouldn't have thought they would have. I would have thought they would have been more likely to be men.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of these things where it's like if they'd have had one female doctor and then maybe one male, or maybe had the female doctor as the assistant or learning or something like that. That would be a bit more believable, I feel, for that time period.
Yeah,
It's like an assistant sort of thing. But
yeah.
yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I don't have a problem with there being female doctors because there are female doctors, but in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there weren't that many.
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't have thought. So not in general
Please,
practice.
please, for the love of goodness, if we're wrong, correct us in the comments.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
100%.
but I don't know.
Mm.
I then watched a feature film called Manor of Darkness, which is
Ooh, sounds good.
yeah, I really, really liked this. Guy who made this called Blake Ridder. We have reviewed four, possibly five of his short films before, and I was really looking forward to this because I thought I really want to see what he does with a feature film. It starts with a group of people, and there are lots of backstories for every single person, and we kind of feel that there's too many stories, and it's all starting to clash. And yeah, but then they kind of come together. So, and you forget about the backstories to a large extent, but
Mm.
those people come together, and it all kind of starts working as a story. It's a really clever idea. It's basically a ghost story,
Mm.
but it also incorporates a kind of time loop element.
Okay.
Um, really well written. There's some great humor. It's a little bit odd, the humor, but it's funny because it's odd. It kind of works because it's the kind of silly thing that you do when you're in a kind of like, in a situation you don't know how to cope with. You kind of like say or do things that are a little bit kind of odd or whatever, but they
Mhm.
work really well. There's a great twists. There are great twists in it, and I really liked it. I thought it was a really good film.
Mhm.
So anyway, anyone out there, Manor of Darkness, if you see it anywhere, I really would recommend going to see it.
Mhm.
Okay, I am going to talk a bit about this one, but I will come back to this a bit when I come to the next day. But
Mhm.
okay. The next film I saw was called Spoiling You.
Mhm.
This is from Hex Studios and the British Horror Studio, who are the people who've taken on taken on the mantle of Amicus, who made a lot of horror films around the same time as Hammer.
Mhm.
Um, this has got Lawrence Harvey in it, who has been in lots of horror films, things. It's also the main star is Megan Tremithick, who is in. She's kind of like the lead actress for the British Horror Studio films. She's good, and she's good at what she does, and she has a very striking look about her.
Mhm.
Um, they have three films on the festival, and each one had a kind of performance art bit before the film, which
Okay.
kind of settles the audience down before you start watching the film. It was interesting the way it was done. Bit odd. Um, this film is about an ASMR online woman who does this ASMR stuff and that sort of thing, and she has all her followers and all this kind of thing. And this guy wins a competition to meet her. It gets very dark and really kind of like they end up in a dungeon, and the there are problems with all of the films that I had. One of the problems I had with all of them is the fact that the music was always a little bit louder than I think it needed to be.
Mm.
Um, but otherwise, it's an interesting idea and an interesting story. It's got a few twists and that sort of thing. Um, it's a slightly disturbing story in a few ways, and it kind of like it's a bit plays with your mind a bit, and it's a bit like I'm really not sure I like what's going on here. And there's a lot of oddness to it and a bit of gore, which it kind of works. And it is a very odd. It's a very odd film, but it's a very British oddness,
Ah, okay, yeah,
you know,
yeah, I know what you
which
mean.
I kind of liked about it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I really liked this film. I thought it was really good. It was the best of the three films that they had on the festival for me.
Ah, yeah. I am looking forward to a bit of a resurgence in British horror. I hope we get it soon. You know, a
Um,
lot of it's been very American lately, and it'd be good to have some, spooky British stuff coming up.
we've got a lot of British people making independent horror films, and it's just a matter of getting them into the mainstream, getting them those films sort of like shown around more and more people being able to see them, which is what we really need. There was a short film on with that which I loved, which is called Night Shift at Ned's. It's a small cafe in the middle of nowhere, and this woman goes to work there,
Mm.
and she's taken on to do the night shift. And basically, what she doesn't get told is the fact that the night shift there entails them basically protecting themselves from demons
Oh, okay.
from coming into the
Yeah.
thing. So they have to put a line of salt around the doors and all this kind of thing. But she sweeps it up so the demons can get in. It is good. There's some great music, great
Yeah.
makeup on it. It's very funny. I did like it, and some great sound effects and stuff. I really thought it was funny.
It does remind me of some of the horror stories that you see on on Facebook and stuff now. I suppose they're like digital creepy pastas now about you know, it's that whole thing of like working in the abandoned hospital. You know, someone still owns the hospital, so they still need someone to man it at night time and all that sort
Yeah,
of, yeah.
yeah.
There's a
Uh,
lot of that sort of stuff going around, and that is quite fun when you watch it, So
well,
it's good
I mean, the fun thing with this is the
those
fact
in the films.
the guy who runs the place is drunk most of the time. The other staff haven't been told that she hasn't been trained,
Oh,
and she doesn't know what's going on. So it's kind of like quite funny from that. Um, okay, the next feature film I saw, which is the last feature film of the day for this day, um, I chose to watch it purely because of the title.
okay.
It's called Dracula in Space. I know. Um,
Brilliant, brilliant.
and the thing about it was that it was an interesting idea. You got the spaceship, which is called the Demeter.
Obvious nod to the ship.
Yeah, they find a derelict ship, which they investigate, and it's got um, a coffin in it, basically, that they take on their ship. They don't know it's a coffin, and inside the coffin, of course, is Dracula.
Oh.
Character names are a nod back to the original as well, because the captain is called Harker, and one of the others. Oh, there's an AI sort of like not an AI, a artificial sort of person,
Mm.
and the
Like
one
a
on
synthetic type thing.
yeah, and the one that was on the ship that was derelict was called Renfield.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so things like that. And you find out at the end that this Dracula is. Yeah, I thought, oh well, they've just taken the Dracula story and they booted it up to the 24th century or something, but you find out that he is actually the same Dracula,
Mm.
and yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's like
background music again.
it seems like it's a spin on like Dracula 2000. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, no, yeah. But the problem with this is the fact that what it needed was a good bit of comedy
Mm.
sewed into the mix, and it didn't have that. It had one bloke who cracked a few jokes that weren't funny, and it was mentioned that these jokes weren't funny. So
No.
it kind of takes it away from it. It just kind of took itself too seriously.
Okay, that's
It
a
was,
shame because the whole concept of that is very hammy.
yeah, absolutely.
They should have run with the comedy side of it, you know.
But I mean, the thing that gets me is it's,
Is it one of these things where they were trying for a comedic? It was like a double bluff, comedic title, serious film. You know.
yeah, I don't know. But I mean, the thing is, you got the whole Dracula story, or part of the Dracula story being reenacted effectively. But you've also got the kind of alien part, which is where they go to this abandoned spaceship and they find this, which looks thing that looks like an egg, which they take back on board the ship. Um, but then you've also got a thing where they have to test each other to see whether or not they've been turned into vampires,
Okay.
which kind of reminded me a bit of the thing where they test everybody's blood to see
Oh,
who is. Do
right.
you know what I mean? So it kind of had a few elements of a few different stories all linked together,
Okay.
but it all was a bit kind of for what it was. I mean, it had a budget look, it had a budget feel,
Right.
but it needed a bit of humour to get you past that,
Mm.
and it didn't have that.
It's a shame. It's a
Yeah, it
shame.
was a real pity. I think they kind of missed out on that, really.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes you do find that they'll miss the mark. You know.
yeah,
Sometimes I watch and I think this has got too much humour in. Dial the humour back. But obviously, there's other occasions where it needs more. You know.
yeah. So yeah, the features that I found I liked on that were Manor of Darkness and Spoiling You, and then the short films were God Squad, Quarantine, Mr. Vertigo. I like The Body Is Watching Me, Dana, and The Night Shift at Ned's.